Carrie Bach here, dietitian with Core Plus Integrative Health. And this week we are talking about hydration. I know, super boring topic, but even more important than other things when it comes to really setting up that foundation for weight loss. We can eat perfectly, take great supplements, everything else, but unless we're getting enough water on a regular basis, we're kind of setting ourselves up for fail. And the reason is because our bodies want to be 60 to 70% water, our brains want to be 80 to 85% water, so just the smallest amount of chronic dehydration really slows the efficiency of our body. In fact, some studies have shown that when you're chronically dehydrated, that you can slow your metabolism up to 30% after you eat, after each meal, because we naturally burn calories after each meal. So if we're not getting enough water to then break down that food and to actually use it as energy, our metabolism slows. And that particularly is true with fats. Lipolysis, which is the breaking down of fats to be able to use throughout the body for different functions, but also to be able to use as energy, really does slow about 30% when we are chronically dehydrated. The other issue with being dehydrated is the messaging between our brain and the other systems in our bodies just doesn't work as well. So you can imagine our brains want to be 80 to 85% fat, or water, and if we shrink that down just a little bit, that messaging really slows. And one thing that I see that often happens is our signaling gets confused. So when we are really thirsty, the signal that comes through is that we're hungry, and that leads to eating more over the course of time. So those two things in and of itself, there's a lot more that has to do with hydration, but just the slowing of the metabolism, the messaging, the incorrect messaging going on, those two things can really play into your being successful, but they can also play to kind of slowing everything down and harboring your success as well. All right, so I have 3 goals for you to consider this week. The first is to figure out how much fluid you should really be drinking. And one good rule of thumb is to take your body weight in pounds, divide it by 2, and then that answer is the amount of ounces you should be drinking every day from fluid. Now, fluid really ideally should come from mostly water, but of course anything that doesn't contain alcohol or caffeine also counts. So maybe a little bit of 100% juice. I know we're still watching our calories and things, and that can add up. Maybe some milk or nut milks. We have Bai here, which is a pretty healthy antioxidant drink. One of the things we talked about were seltzer waters, and that I like mineral waters over seltzer waters. And then if you have to grab a bottle of water, we're really fortunate to live in an area where El Dorado is at a lot of the different stores, and they have a higher mineral content than other traditional bottled waters. But tap water is fine too. Flavoring it yourself is fine. I saw some great resources on the Facebook page where folks are throwing in fruit, maybe muddle it a little bit, throw in your water, let it soak for a while to really get those true natural flavors. And just make sure that you're getting close to your total amount of fluid that you should be drinking every day. If that amount sounds huge, then just start small. Add a couple cups over the course of a few days and use, the next couple of weeks to get to that point. And listen to your body, because you can drink too much water. You can really, especially when you're reducing your calories, you can reduce the amount of electrolytes then, and that's not a great thing either. So figure out kind of that total, see where you're at, and see how you can get closer to that, but also listen to how you're feeling over time. The other 2 goals I have for you kind of correlate with those studies I mentioned, the one about the metabolism slowing up to 30% after meals when you're dehydrated, and then there was another study that was done over the course of 12 weeks. Participants who were fully hydrated lost 12% more weight over the course of 12 weeks than those who weren't, and they did everything else exactly the same. So one of the studies started every morning off with 16 ounces of water. So take time to really see what that means with the glasses that you have at home to measure that out and make sure that you are starting that day off with 16 ounces before your coffee or tea. Doesn't mean you can't have coffee and tea. It just means that that doesn't really count towards your total. So start your day off with just plain water. And then take that 16 ounces and do the same thing before lunch and again before dinner to really make sure that you're fully able to metabolize your foods and speed up that metabolism as much as you can, staying fully hydrated. Good luck this week, and until next week, take care and be well.